Did you ever try to catch a glimpse of a Sasquatch through your binoculars? Well, I was lucky because I found one on this card made with sketch number 6 from Kendra's Card Challenge 15 and products from super sponsor This Calls for Confetti. And this video is also part of a giveaway hop, so stay tuned for more information later. My name is Julia and I'm an enthusiastic card maker and paper crafter from Austria. Welcome to my channel, Julie's Kreativschatzkiste. So as mentioned, This Calls for Confetti is one of the super sponsors of Kendra's Card Challenge 15. And they have generously provided me and some design team colleagues with these products we are using today. First, there's this paper pad, Elusive Prints. I really like the forest images in there and all the corresponding papers as well. It fits perfectly for the stamp set Sentimental Sasquatch, which we also received. Isn't that cute? And there are a lot of great sentiments included as well, for example for Father's Day. And we also received the corresponding dies. So with these supplies, I plan to make a tunnel card, which means I have 3 layers of paper with a circle cut out of them to see through to the underlying layers. I'm going to use sketch number 6 from Kendra's Card Challenge number 15. Just in case you're not familiar, Kendra's Card Challenge is a quarterly challenge where you get 15 unique card sketches, which can be made out of 6 sheets of 6x6 inch patterned paper. I will tell you more later. So let's start crafting. Here you see the sketch I'm going to use. I'm actually going to turn it upside down and have the circle on the bottom of the card. I first looked for the papers I'm going to use, and I just wanted to have some pictures which are closer, whereas others are more in the distance, to keep the 3D element in my card consistent. I also took out a brown paper, which I'm going to use for the matting layer, as well as for the Sasquatch. And as you see, I have already prepared my A2 card base, as well as the matting layer out of the brown paper. With my circle and rectangle dies, I try to find the right positions on the paper I want to use. The higher the layer, the bigger the circle has to be for my tunnel card to work well. So I started with my lowest forest layer, which doesn't need a circle at all because it's the background to our Sasquatch. For the middle layer, I tried to find the perfect position for my rectangle and circle so that it fits to the first layer. Regarding circles, I used the smaller circle die of the 2 I chose. However, I don't use the circle die for die cutting, instead I use it as a template for drawing a circle into my picture. I want to have the branches hanging into my circle to get even more dimension into my card. That's why I just draw it with a pencil and then cut it out by hand. Before I start fussy cutting, I poke some holes with my die pick, because that way it's easier to get into the paper with my scissors. I cut the hole the way I want to. On the left side I leave the tree trunk because I want to see it through my tunnel. And on the right side I try to keep all the branches hanging into the circle. So while you watch me fussy cutting, I can tell you more about Kendra's Card Challenge. It's a quarterly free challenge from Kendra, from their YouTube channel Cards by Kendra. Kendra provides a free PDF each quarter, which includes 15 card sketches, which can be made out of 6 sheets of 6x6 inch patterned paper. In my description box you find the link where you can download this PDF. It's completely free, you just have to join Patreon, but again it's completely free. There are also paid options for Kendra's Patreon, which I recommend you to also check out because there are great perks coming with it. The PDF you can download does not only include measurements for the 15 cards, it also includes a cutting guide for the patterned paper. You can participate in the challenge once per month, so 3 times per quarter. All you have to do to participate is upload 1 photo with all the 15 cards you made with the challenge into the corresponding album of the Kendra's Card Challenges Facebook group, which is also linked in my description box. And at the end of each month there's a YouTube video on the YouTube channel Cards by Kendra. I really recommend to watch this video because in the video the winners are drawn for the monthly and quarterly prizes and you have to claim your prize if you are a winner. So back to my card. Right now I'm doing exactly the same as I did before, just on the top layer, so I use a bigger circle for drawing my circle on the paper. Fussy cutting is not one of my favorite tasks, so I spare you the details here and we jump right to the next step of the video. So as you see, I have finished my 3 layers of my tunnel card, and the top 2 layers have the circles cut into them, with the branches hanging into the picture. As the core of the paper is white, I used my distress oxides now with some greens to color the edges of the tunnel card and prevent the white from shining through and so keep the illusion of the forest. For that I also use darker green on the back layer and lighter green on the front layer. I also heat set that so that my oxides dry on the coating of the paper. Alright, so now as all the elements for my tunnel card are ready, it's time to make our Sasquatch. I use both of the Sasquatch images because I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to use. I'm going to stamp them on dark brown paper so that it fits my card, and I'm guessing Sasquatches are brown. Of course, I prime my stamps because I used them the first time, and I use Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I want to make sure that the ink stays on my coated paper. That actually worked fine. And here are the two images of the Sasquatch. They are so cute. Then I took the corresponding dies and cut out the two Sasquatches. Is it correct that Sasquatches is the plural of Sasquatch? Please let me know in the comments. At this point I had to decide which of the two Sasquatches I'm going to use. I decided to use this one because it looks like he's hiding somewhat, and that's perfect for my card. And then I had to give him some color, and I used my alcohol markers for coloring. I used a scrap piece of the brown paper to see how the colors of the alcohol markers would look on the dark brown background. As promised, I will tell you more about the giveaway now. This video is part of a giveaway hop, and in my description box you will find a playlist with all the videos participating in the hop. The giveaway is a digital prize generously sponsored by Kendra, and all you have to do for your chance to win the prize and participate in the prize drawing is fill in the form linked in my description box. The deadline for filling in the form is the 15th of August 2024. The winner will be randomly chosen and announced on the YouTube channel Cards by Kendra Community tab. Good luck for the drawing! When I was finished with coloring with my alcohol markers, I also took my white gel pen and I colored the white of the eyes of the Sasquatch. Now it's time to put our layers together. I start with my blank card and I first put on the matting layer out of the dark brown paper. The next layer is the forest picture layer without the circle in it. I put that on top of the matting layer. And this first forest layer is also the place for our Sasquatch, which is hiding in the branches. I put some foam tape on the back of the Sasquatch, but I'm not adhering it yet because I have to make sure that the placement is right. So the next step is putting together my top and my second layer. So the two forest pictures with a circle in them. So I start by putting foam tape on the back of the top layer. I use foam tape to have some dimension in my tunnel card. When positioning these two layers on top of each other, I make sure the circles are in the right place, so on top of each other. As I place the circles on the forest pictures, where it fit in the picture and not exactly on the same place in both layers, I had to cut down the lower rectangle a little bit, but that is no problem at all. So now it is time to place our Sasquatch. I want him to be looking out of the branches and out of the woods a little bit, and he rather looks a little bit timid, which fits perfectly for my scene. When I know where I want to put the Sasquatch, I take the cover of the foam tape on the back, and then I keep it in position on the upper layers. And now I put it down in a way that the rectangles are exactly on top of each other. So I align the corners of the rectangles. And then I push the Sasquatch down so it adheres to the lower paper. And the next and the final step of the construction is, of course, to put the upper layers on top of the Sasquatch. For this I use again foam tape, but I use a thicker foam tape this time, because I also adhered the Sasquatch with foam tape, and I want to have a difference in height between the Sasquatch and the levels of the wood. So that's the reason I need to use a higher foam tape. When putting down the top layers, again I align the corners of the rectangles so that they are exactly on top of each other. I really like the way this tunnel cut looks already. It looks really like a binocular through which you see the Sasquatch, don't you think? Well, a little bit at least. The final and still missing touch of our card is the sentiment. There are a lot of sentiments to choose from in this stamp set, and I was also considering the space I have left on the card when I was trying to choose one. And I finally decided to use this one. I heard you're feeling a little bit squatchy. Feel better soon. For my sentiment I used heat embossing with a white heat embossing powder, which looked great on this dark brown background paper, which is the same paper I used for the Sasquatch and for the matting layer. When heating the embossing powder with my heat gun, I took care that the paper doesn't warp, which worked actually very well. For adhering the sentiment to my card, I used foam tape again. And this is actually my card finished for today. I really hope you like it, and if yes, please leave me a like or leave me even a comment and tell me what you think of the card. I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already done so. Please don't forget to fill in the form linked in my description box, and again, I also encourage you to check out the entire playlist for this giveaway hop. See you next time, servus!